So, today we have a few games. Let Us Attack versus 4-Pool Lifeguards. I'm just gonna go ahead and pause that and get into our intro. Let's turn on the StarCraft music. Okay, it started. Yeah, we have 3 groups we're gonna be going through today. 4-Pool Lifeguards are in part of 2 of them. The Let Us Attack are part of 2 of them. And then we have the 2 Fact 2 Furious and United Emu Directorate to kind of wedge in the middle there. For our early morning StarCraft games. At least it's early morning here, I don't know what time it is other places. My coffee. I also have a bottle of water to help me hydrate through this cast, so I think we're good to go. Yeah. I don't even know what does our schedule say our first group is. 4-Pool Lifeguards versus Let Us Attack Tier 2 and a beer. Oh man, if you go grab one, start the day drinking early. Mix it with my coffee. Have a real drink. But we're gonna get started here. Let's hop over to our first match. We did it. 4-Pool Lifeguards versus Let Us Attack. We only have 3 games in this one. This, I believe, is our Tier 2 matches, and it is. Okay. We have Effay versus Zoey Rev in a Zerg versus Protoss. We have Inhale versus ET in a Zerg versus Protoss. And then we have Character versus Leonix in a Zerg versus Zerg. So, you know, that's going to be a good match, at least. So yeah, we're going to just hop right into it. I'm going to load our first game, of course. It's going to be Effay versus Zoey. Sure, or, oh crap. CPL, where's the cast? Replays. CPL cast, 522. No, that's the wrong one. This one. Effay for the 4-Pool Lifeguards and Zoey for the Let Us Attack. As always, just like yesterday, our first game is going to be on Good Night, as it was the first map of this thing. I'm kind of just moved, clicked OK, so we're gonna hop right into it. Starting off very strong in the top right corner of Good Night, we have Effay playing as the Red Zerg, sending their Overlord to the left. But unfortunately their opponent isn't to the left, their opponent is in the bottom left. And it is Zoey from Clan Rev, representing the like slate gray Protoss. Like what are the, like this isn't gray, it's like light blue. What color is this actually in the files here? Might be light gray. But sending the probe out to get that good pylon timing. Very smart, very nice. There we go. Effay meanwhile, it's gray blue. Okay. Well, that definitely is a color. So we probably might be playing random colors, because like who the hell goes into the game is like, I know what color I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be gray blue. So just is taking a random color and got this. Probing a scout. See no hatchery in the top left corner. Confirms that it's because their opponent isn't in the top left corner. Overlord gonna keep on floating. Keep on going. Overlord, second Overlord heading straight down, second probe going out the scout, just to make sure that they'll be able to see what their opponent is doing. It is looks like a 12 hatch from Effay, I think. So we do have, or 12 pool, It's not a hatchery. Of the 12 pool, 11 hatch. Probe will get up to the scout, sees the drone going to build the hatchery. And it will come up in here, see the spawning pool. I think we're just gonna see. We're gonna want to watch these the larvae to see what's being made from here. We have one pair of zerglings, so we're getting a cannon. So I think when you see this kind of timing, you actually, I want to say you don't need to get the cannon so soon. Like I think if he saved up the money, he would have been able to get the Nexus and then also get the cannon and the gateway up in time for the Zerglings, especially since we're cross spawns, and especially since Effay hasn't like scouted yet. Cancel on one of those larva things, those always hurt, but drone is gonna get sniped by the YOLO 420 cannon. Yeah. Oh, third base going up for Effay. Zoey just kind of chilling with their probe. Extra drones coming. So Zoey has really good scouting information here, seeing that there's only one pair of Zerglings so far. So they don't need to build the extra photon cannons. Let's check that health on the Nexus. 500. It's getting there. Zerg hatchery already up for Effay, so we have our expansion. Nexus is getting there. So once it hits around, I believe it is around 650, is when you can pull your probes and they will actually start mining, and then also be able to return to the Nexus. So that's a fun little timing tip for all the Protosses out there. Okay, the Zerglings, after dispatching the probe, I don't know. Well, we can only hope the probe got the scout on the Hydra Den, because if not, Effay is in trouble. Depending on where, or as Zoey is in trouble, rather, depending on where Effay wants to take this, if we're just doing like a very fast 3-hatch Hydra, Zoey did see it. Just throws up the extra cannons. That is a secure Protoss natural right there. That Protoss natural knows what it wants in life, and is getting it. Zealot scouts a third base that doesn't exist, completely misses the mark. But you know what? He's just gonna rotate around, try to take this base. I wonder if there's like a way to... Ooh, are these Zerglings? Oh, no, they should pass each other like ships in the night. I wonder if there's a way, like what expansion pattern Zerg prefers if it's cross spawns like this. Like if it's just like a stylistic choice, or if there is actually like a reason. Oh, it does pass by the... It says hi to his friend Hydra. He's gonna come up here, bully some drones around. One drone bullied successfully. And Zerglings are actually going to be retreating the deal with the Zealot, as the Zealot is just going to also come over to the natural and start bullying these drones. Oh no, Zealot's going to return back to the main base. So we have a number of... Why are these probes rallied outside the base? Somebody messed up their location hotkeys. That's not good. Really like the extra cannons being thrown down. You just have to do that sometimes. Yeah, there is a... I don't know what Nexus is sending probes out here, but they need to stop. Oh my god, this Zealot has got 2 drones? Going for a third? Hydras try to come in, but they will not get anything done. The Zealot does get surrounded and taken out by... Zealot fucking suicides in to get the drone. Does it work? Probes. Okay, do you understand your probe rally now? High Templar Archives on the way. No Corsair. I guess you can skip it since you know what's going on. Hydra's barreling down the front of the base. luckily, it doesn't really seem like there is a huge critical mass. With 3-hatch Hydra, you can kind of just defend. You can keep enough cannons alive. Ooh, baited. Yes. Yeah, this seems about like the right amount of cannons that you need. 2, 4, 6, 8. Is this a pylon? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 cannons. That should be enough to sustain the Protoss natural. Behind this, we have Zoey, we have Effay going up into lair, getting their evolution chamber. So we might see this turn into more of a lurker contain since you can't really bust this. Storm on the way finishing. We have Zealots coming out as well. Zealot speed is finished. Spire on the way from Effay. So we will have, the Mutalist transition is possible if they want to go for it. Ogres are a gamer. 3 extra gateways, 4 extra gateways added on. Where's the lettuce tier 3 at? Ah, yes. I had to, we're doing 3 groups, so because of that we picked 3 groups of particular lengths. Unfortunately we had to, that one had to get cut. So we will not be doing the lettuce tier 3 today. I accidentally typed that in the announcement. Alright, DT on the way. I have a lot of drones here. No, well, there's Overlords out with speed. Obs. Yeah. You know what, just because you're asking so nicely, I will cast it another time. I'll find some time to do it. Maybe I'll do it next week to catch up. If there aren't any particularly exciting groups out of week 8. Because I know that feel, because nobody casted Korean Mechanics tier 2, which was might be a little biased. Ooh, Archons coming in. That's okay. Archons can deal with Mutalisks. They can zone Mutalisks out of areas, right? You can just park them and then the Mutas can't get there. But it is going to take a while for the Archons to finish, and that is a lot of Mutas that are ready to wreak havoc. The Archons need to move down here to take out the Mutalisks before the Mutas kill every single probe. 36 probes, 35 probes. Oh, the Mutas. Wow, those Mutas are spreading their damage so evenly, but they are going to take the fight with the Archons, and that means that the Mutas are going to get shredded through. 5 Mutalisks becomes 3. This little fight up here kind of goes badly for the Zerg as well, as Protoss is able to break out. Zealots can kind of manhandle Hydralisks. It looks like a lot of Hydralisks retreated home to deal with something, maybe these Dark Templar, but yeah, 28 drones from Effay, so 9 kills on the DT. Never mind, I understand why the Hydras wanted to retreat home. Dude, this DT is a secret agent hiding in the main base of Effay at 3 HP. One shot from a Hydra would have killed it, but he's successfully in here, and that means that later this entire mineral line can be deleted. So Archon's taking this out. This little army probably can't fight these Hydralisks, especially since Hydras are pretty good against Archons, but once you filter in a couple more High Templar, well, it looks like we have a lot of Dragoons in production, which honestly also is a good move. Since Dragoons with range can kind of fight Hydralisks, but you mostly want them for the eventual Lurker transition, which is also coming up. Now the only issue, the only piece of the puzzle missing is that Zoey does not have Robo, and as anybody who watches CPL casts will know, to quote Nibline. Robo by 9. Protoss is fine. Well, it's 12. The Protoss is looking a little shaky if the Lurkers come out. Well, jeez. I always feel bad. Clicking on the production also would be able to fight here. I'll get back to that in a second. Yep, so this army will bully the Zerg out. Turns out you don't actually need High Templar when you have, you know, phase disruptors. But yeah, no, I was gonna say, it always feels weird. I feel like when you cast, you shouldn't ever click on the Hello Escalade. I feel like when you cast, you shouldn't ever click on the production, because it's like, oh, we have one High Templar in production, they're missing a macro round, and it's like you click on one gateway, and it's like, oh, okay, let's just pretend we don't see that. It just feels a little rude, you know? Alright, Overlord. Getting some scouting in, observatory being built, so the Robo is on the way. And now it's Zoey's turn to try to make something happen. And they won't be making anything happen by leading with Dragoons first. A huge pylon warp in because both players are supply blocked. As soon as that supply block lifts, our supplies should explode reasonably high. Let's see what our upgrades are at. 0-1 for the Zerg, 0-0-1 for the Protoss. 2 Scourge flying over. They won't be able to find any flying units, but they are decent little scouter things for 12 minerals and 38 gas. This one is allowed to live. Effay getting their 4th base up, which is scary, because the Zerg on 4 bases is kind of just the end game Zerg. And in this matchup, the Protoss win condition generally is keeping the Zerg on 3 or less bases and keeping them contained and not able to expand. And if they're able to do that, then Protoss can kind of just drain the Zerg of resources. But Zerg on 4 bases essentially buys like 15 extra minutes in the game for them. They also have a huge engagement. The Lurkers are kind of way out of line with the army. Their AI kind of led them all the way over here, and the Lurkers get completely melted. Now there are Hydras, and Hydras are a really good unit. But unfortunately, Storm is also a good unit. Very nice Size Storm there. Zealots coming in the flank here. Dragoons battering down the main line, and this Hydralisk army should get melted. Storm just barely missing these Hydras, but these Overlords are also going to die, and that's going to be very unfortunate for the Zerg supply count. Some more Hydras filtering in, and again, usually you don't want Dragoons fighting Hydralisks, but this is fine. They're fine. You generally don't think about Dragoons fighting Hydras, but it works. They're fine. We have Zerglings coming up. The Zealots, of course, are still 2-shotting Zerglings since they do not have any armor upgrade. That Dragoon was doing a dance, so, distracting every single one of those Zerglings. The Zealots cleaned up, but the reinforcement powers of the Hydralisks is so strong that, yeah, no. Actually, never mind. Dragoons are actually trash garbage at fighting Hydras, but as these Zealots come in, they might be able to continue fighting. It looks like Zoey is going to be the one who backs off, as the sheer ability for Zerg to reinforce their army overwhelms that fight. Alright, I think now Zoey is going to recommit. Oh, no, Effay is going to try to snipe out this 4th base. Zoey can defeat this army, but I think the question is, do they think they can defeat this army? We have plenty of observers. playing more Hydralisks again. Unfortunately, this base is going to fall. I think this was enough to at least buy time. You have a High Templar. He is about to have a Storm. You just buffer enough. You have the upgrade advantage. Zealots actually shred through Hydralisks on. That was an unfortunate Storm. See how like the Zealots just kind of melt through those? And unfortunately, I think that okay, well, Zealot's coming up to try and take the center, kind of away from the rest of the army. And Effay still has their Hydralisk pack down here. They're taking their 4th base with ease. Zoey is trying to get their 4th base up. They unfortunately lost. Actually, no, they're trying to get their 3rd base up. Which is, so this is actually kind of awful. In that Effay is 2 bases up, which is kind of an indicator that Zerg is ahead. Now this 4th isn't defended very well. There's no Sunkens. And so Zoey is able to just kind of get up on the ramp. Now, this High Templar doesn't really have the energy. They might be able to get these drones. Unfortunately, these Dragoons are buffering a lot for these Zealots, but that kind of works out since the Zealots will now be able to fight the Zerg reinforcements while the main army kills these hatcheries. Oh my gosh, a lot of reinforcements caught out in the open. We need to see some storms thrown down. We do see them thrown down, but unfortunately they kind of do not hit exact very well. But the rest of the army can clean up because, again, Zealots with upgrade advantage kind of are amazing. It's a 1-2 for Protoss and 1-2 for Zerg as well. So actually not really an upgrade advantage, but Zealots scale really well, okay? Zoey running out of minerals. They only have 2 mining bases. They're finally populating that 3rd, but Effay has a huge bank and very efficient units as the Zerglings are starting to move in. Dragoons can't really fight Zerglings. You can micro them a little bit, but unfortunately that High Templar might have had energy for a Storm. Unfortunately, you do have to micro them. It looks like Zoey is finally going to start microing these Dragoons, backing them away from the Zerglings, just buying some space, preventing them from getting really a good surround. But unfortunately, he's not taking the retreat. He's retreating through the field of Hydras in the middle here, instead of this back line. Okay, +2, +3 on the way for Zoey, +2 armor on the way for Effay. Queen's Nest as well, so we will be getting up into that hive tech. While Zoey is just trying to establish their base. Unfortunately, they only have 3 photon cannons here, and that is not going to be enough to defeat Hydralisks. But unfortunately, the good news for Zoey is that they will buy enough time for their army to kind of come up here and try and fight this off. The bad news, again, unfortunately, is that there's not really enough here. It looks like Effay might be able to bust this 4th base just by cleaning up these Dragoons. We have only 1 Zealot left remaining. This Hydra is actually in the main mineral line. Let's see if these Zealots can pull it off. Not really. They didn't get a great engagement there. And that's if. What is it if, Zoey? What if? After this series, I'm done. GGs are called. And Effay is going to take game 1. Let's go ahead and hop into game 2. It's a good game 1. Back and forth. Players on both sides just trying to have some stuff done. Our second game is going to be on Eclipse. And in the top right corner, we have Zoey Rev looking for the comeback, looking for the revenge as the, instead of gray-blue, a lightish blue, just a blue color, Protoss. Versus their opponent, Effay, once again representing the red Zerg. And the overlay was not changed because I'm an amazing streamer and a great caster. Bottom left corner with Effay as the red Zerg, top right, Zoey on Eclipse. I need to drink some more of this coffee, apparently. Alright, Zoey, sending out, building the pylon a bit far forward, but that's okay. You can kind of do a lot of stuff on Eclipse. Probe. So looks like our players are going for basically the same thing they did in game 1. But we are, of course, on a 2-player map this time. Oh, drone going out the scout. Making sure that Effay won't be surprised by any sneaky plays here. Oh, could we see a pylon thrown down in the natural? Could we see it? That would delay that hatchery by quite a lot. Will we see it? Will we see it? That probe is doing some amazing micro, keeping this base from building. We're almost 150 supply, or 150 minerals away from when we need this base built. 200 minerals away from when we need this base built. 250 minerals away from needing this base built. Yeah, once these Zerglings come by, though, that should be the end, even though we have been delayed by 2 whole hatcheries. At what point does the drone just go to the third and make it on your third base, and then just make your natural as your... Oh, it's sunk into the ground. Dude, this probe has actually been doing a sick amount of scouting, and our second scouting probe is here as well. Delaying this hatchery by 500 minerals. 512. That's crazy. Of course, we do lose the second probe, but that hatchery is so delayed at this point that the Nexus is actually further along than it. Great moves there by Zoey. Really good denial there. Now let's throw the pylon down at the third and really make the Zerg cry. Actually, you could cannon rush the third, since the Zerg kind of has to take the third at this base. Build like a pylon here and then a cannon there. This P-wall is offset? Yeah, a little bit. I think all pure Begoid. Hey, how's it going? I think always expand 2 with drone and only send to third if pylon drops on nat with 2 drone. Okay. Like bring the second drone down to harass the probe out. That probably would work better. The third is going down. The pylon is, of course, hidden up here. I would love to see the cannon rush on the... would love to see the cannon rush on the third base. That would be very annoying and delay the Zerg by so much. Zoey, please. Yes, Zoey! Oh my god, no, don't run into the vision! Don't run into the vision! Okay, it was only for a few seconds. We can hope that he ran back into the vision, but we can hope that also this isn't where you want to... So you would want to build the pylon here and then the cannon here, just for future reference. He's actually throwing 2 photon cannons down. Still outside of vision, so we're still good. Probe is also stuck, so we're also committing this probe to this, but that third base denial will be huge. Of course, we do have the Hydroden out and on the way. Actually, that's crazy that the third base isn't up by the time the Hydras are out. But the Hydras will be able to kill these photon cannons, but it will be the question of if the photon cannons can put enough damage on this hatchery to kill it. Effay does now have vision of the photon cannons, building some Zerglings. And now the damage is going down. What do we have building from here? A drone. That drone is unfortunately going to die. Oh, no, he does get saved. Looks like he's going to be actually going to build a creep colony to try and get the sunken colony and outrange the cannons. That, of course, is also a very good play, but I think the hatchery is going to be killed, which is crazy. Funnily enough, as a side effect with this creep colony, that does also mean that these larvae are going to live. Since, oh, don't commit the Zerglings. You already have the sunken building. The hatchery's already dead. No, it's really that range. That is how that range works. Also, we have. Do you think this will actually kill this egg? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God! Chuck the Cannon Rusher probe. This probe is Chuck, and he is getting rid of the Zerg's luck. Oh, Zealot's in the main as well. Dang, Zoey is just kind of all over the place this game, and in like a good way for them. You know, Zealots in main, drones are ashamed of the fact they die so quickly. 16 drones to 32 probes. Protoss is out in droves. Thank you, Crowbar. Alright. Cannon. We also have our cannons at the Nat, which will result in a failed Hydra attack. That one counts as a rhyme, I think. However, the Hydra should be able to pick off the +1 at the very least. They're going to dive in. Oh no. You hate to see it. We don't lose any Hydras, but they are now badly injured, and that means that the amount of space that Effay has to work with is just that bit smaller, since a storm basically insta-kills like 3 of these Hydras. Extra cannons being thrown down. Yeah, the setup here is a little wonky, but I think the cannons, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I would like, probably the cannons would be better, like, if you wedged them up here. I think there's enough space for a cannon right here, but this being Brood War, probably not. Still don't have the third here because this sunken. Oh, that's so sad. So fun thing, I've seen this a lot, and so if you're a Protoss player, take notes about like the psychological damage that you can inflict on a Zerg. Also, this is looking. Uh-oh, no, this pylon dying actually might depower this forge. I don't know. Barely doesn't, but the Hydra's shooting the forge also depowers the forge. So we are going to lose out on +1. Bit of a refund there. DT's out, but we do have our Overlord, so we are going to want to rely more on those High Templar. But one of the fun things I've noticed about Zerg psychology is if you cannon rush a base and they build a sunken to kill the cannon rush, but then the sunken doesn't hit the cannons, they just give up on the base. They won't even try to expand to it again. Like, this base is now like a pariah. Alright, it's at 9. We do have our Robo. So Robo at 9. Protoss is fine. What the? Oh, that was the DT. Yeah. DTs, when they're under detection. I don't know what rhymes with detection, never mind. We have a Zealot down here, also to help deny the base. Very nice. Well, he's really just scouting, but he can kind of help kill this drone. Oh, he does see it! Zoey on top of it this game. Dead drone. Yeah, Zoey, Effay is just stuck on 2 bases. And as a Zerg, listen, 2 base Zerg, Protoss is cured of infestation. There we go. So we're seeing a similar game play out as we saw in game 1, where Effay does go for a Muta switch at a certain point. However, they're only on 2 base this game, and they're 20 workers behind, which is bad, actually. 6 mutants coming out, but we already have a cycle of Dragoons. And while Dragoons don't really fight Mutalisks, what Dragoons do is they kind of give that safety valve. Oh, unfortunate. where like if you have some Dragoons around, like it just kind of is more awkward for the Zerg. It's not. It doesn't mean the Mutalisks can't actually fight. It just makes it awkward, and that's fine since this whole ass game is awkward right now. This Zealot is out for blood, is going to tear apart this hatch. Unfortunately, he will not get the kill. Oh my god, that's like he did a quarter of this hatchery's health and damage. Muta's coming around to start picking at the probes. We already have so many Dragoons out. Singularity charge on the way. Yeah, so see, the Mutas are just going to try to fly up in here, but there we have Dragoons. Muta's picking off the probes, really nice. You're going to have to replace a probe on gas, though. Wow, actually, we've gone, what, like 10 probes with this? This is pretty good. This is pretty good. And the Mutas just kind of fly out. Because again, Dragoons don't stop the Muta harassment, they just make it kind of awkward, right? The Mutas can't just come in here and get everything for free. But you really want those like Archon, Storms, or Photon Cannons to deal with them. Meanwhile, Jesus Christ, we missed an amazing Storm at the front here. Storm on the... Okay, not Storm on the Mutas, but the Mutas, we are... Zoey doing their best, and you know what is better than storming Mutas? Mutas just running into the STA Photon Cannon. I'm gonna keep that one in my back pocket for when for next time we do trivia. Right? Okay, Overlord's being caught. Are you serious? What? Why is... We've been streaming for 44 minutes and Brood War crashes. What the fuck? What? Okay, we're at 12:35. Let me just... My god. Give me just one moment to force quit. 12:35 was replay timer. Thank you. We're going to... If I can get this to close. Do. Oh, okay. I think we got it to close. Just with that. Got it. Okay. Well, that is an odd occurrence. Force quit that. What an interesting little issue that is, huh? I wonder why that is occurring. Let's just go ahead and close all of these processes. The replay was too strong. Our players were macroing so hard. Kill, wind device. Oh, we have a lot of BattleNet processes as well. Let's just go ahead and end all these. Okay, let's restart. Let's see if this works. Stop playing that. Play. Cancel. Oh my god. Alright, there we go. Loaded back up. And we should be... Oh, Jesus, I should have just had this on the splash screen. There we go. Let's load back StarCraft. We're back in. Just one moment. Thank you for bearing with my computer apparently having an aneurysm. What an odd bug. Yeah, this happened yesterday as well, and I have honestly no idea why. Like, it's just happens at a random time and it just crashes. I'm not sure what causes it, but we'll reset. We were at 12:35 in the replay. So right about, we'll go to 12:27. That, as Zoey Rev is charging across the map. Looks like they are going to be taking out this third base for Effay, because Effay is not allowed to have nice things. Oh my god. Look, no, the stream. Okay, there we go. Base is dying. Okay, we storm the open ground, which is fine. We can't all be expected to have amazing storms all the time. But again, Zealots and even Dark Templar mixed in. BTs do a surprising amount of DPS when they aren't like dying as a glass cannon. Fourth base in quotation marks is dead. Hydra gonna try to do something here, but it will not work. And honestly, if Zoey wants to rotate down to take out the main, they might actually have an opportunity to do so. We have a lot of Scourge who aren't really doing a lot of things since there are no flying units. The Hydras, once again, still just do not want to engage with these cannons. And yeah, it looks like Zoey is going to try and start taking the fight to Effay's main. And honestly, there's nothing here to defend those sunken colonies, which, like, 2 sunken colonies behind this hatchery would make this natural secure. But with all the Hydras fighting out in the open, nothing here to defend. Effay GG's and Zoey takes game 2. So Zoey doing pretty good. And that means we are going to game 3. And that's a kind of a treat. We usually don't see a lot of game 3s at the lower level, so I'm happy to see that. I've been casting a lot of tier 3s where it's like, oh hey, somebody just 2-0s and that's the game. So it is always nice to see these games get tied up and kind of go to the sudden death where it's anybody's match. On the top of Neosylphid, we have Effay, once again, selecting the red Zerg to play as, and in the bottom right of Neosylphid, we have Zoey as the yellow Protoss, whose game apparently was so powerful that, oh yes, yes, go build the 9/9 gate under the sacred proxy tree and be blessed with the cheese. No, the tree's not over there. Zoey, what are you doing? Zoey. It is, the games are 1-1. Zoey, no. That is not the proxy tree. Zoey is taking an absolutely insane risk here. They don't even know if Effay is in this top right. This is like a 33% chance to be the worst placement possible. Also, they do not have the blessings of the sacred proxy tree. So, I gotta say, I mean, even though this proxy does work out, it is in a great position to actually fight Effay. And Effay is going pool first, which is weak to, like, aggressive zealots. I don't know. I don't know, Zoey. I don't know about this. They might win, but it's not going to be because of it's going to have to be overcoming a lot of hardship. The probe is actually going to scout bottom left. No. Oh, okay, so the probe comes out this way to scout up so that if it sees the drone, or if it's spotted, Effay, that's a fun little play. That's a neat little mind game where the probe is going to try to fake out that it isn't coming from the third base here. God, how relieved do you think Zoey is, right? Because if Zoey builds these two gateways, scouts here, and doesn't see a Zerg base, I'm pretty sure they just GG immediately. There's no way that that actually wins. But we have our second base going up. We also have Effay, for the first time, going 3 Zerglings instead of just building 1 pair. And I think that might be because the probe scout was so late. But we now have 2 Zealot production in the process. The Zerglings don't. Oh no, the Zerglings are going for the counterattack on the probes. There's nothing there to defend, and honestly, probes will kill these Zealots much faster than the Zealots can kill these hatchery and spawning pool. Yeah. But it could be anybody's game. It is going to turn to a really weird base rush. I actually think because these gateways are out on the map, the Zealots can put pressure on the hatcheries and then come back and defend the gateways from the drones. But here we go. It's time for now. The Zergling's getting on top in the pro production line. Now the question is, does Zoey have that amazing pro micro? It looks like they do not. Unfortunately, the Zerglings kill every single probe here, but the Zealots also get into the main of the Zerg, but the Zerg is building Zerglings behind this. But really, it just comes down to if Effay can stay alive, Zoey's out of the game. These 4 Zerglings are on Nexus killing duty, but we have 8 drones. These drones, there's enough to build a hatchery. They could try to run out and build a secret hatchery somewhere and just buy enough time. Like run down, like build the base down in here so that the Zerglings are united and can build up a wall here. But it really does come down to this. If Effay tries to defend this base, I don't think it's really going to work out. The Zealots are in here. We just need to keep building Zerglings, build a hatchery somewhere else. The Zealots are taking the fucking damage to the sunken colony. But it is also going to need drone support. If the sunken colony can get up, that might work. But also, as soon as the sunken colony spawns, it's only going to have like 1 HP because of the damage the Zealots are already putting out. It will spawn 1 HP, but that is enough. Effay might actually be defending this. And with this pylon dying, that is the Zealots that Zoey have are the Zealots that Zoey gets. 1 damage, 1 shot on the sunken colony, but 3 Zealots kill every single Zergling, but we have 4 more Zerglings in production. Will these drones turn and fight, or will they die like cowards? No, they will let the Zerglings fight for them, and as the Zealots are cleaned up, it looks like this might be it for Zoey in this match. And you know what? The unfortunate thing is, this game would look very different if Zoey had the blessings of the proxy tree. But because Zoey shunned these blessings and thought that they could get by without them, the proxy tree bestowed its wrath. No Zealots. Zoey is forced to throw out the GG, leaves the game, and Effay takes it 2-1. Switch over to our splash screen and set up our score. Effay with the 2-1 score. Zoey did still take a map, and the map they took, it was a very impressive game, so still good play from both of our players. Very nice match. Our next match is going to be Inhale versus ET, which is going to be another PvZ. Pure Begoid says, killing pool would have been better. IMO, lower HP than main hatch, and would stop all Ling production. ET also is a tier 3 being promoted to tier 2. Okay, so ET is going to, I guess, going into this match favored. So I think I agree that killing the pool would be smarter because it also prevents that sunken from spawning. And while that sunken did kind of just spawn to immediately die, it did kill 2 Zealots. So, alright. Extra time. Oh, gee. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Again, this is just one of those things. Oh, this drone is on strike. He doesn't want to do any work. He's gaining his own sentience here, wondering what it's all for, and then deciding that it's all for the tasty minerals. On the top right of Goodnight, as our dark purple Zerg, we have Extra Time. And in the bottom right, as our light pinkish Protoss, we have Inhale. Much like how I think clicking on the production kind of feels like exposing the players, it feels a little rude to do so. Seeing those early splits also feels like, and criticizing them also feels kind of rude. Because if you show me a StarCraft player who has never royally fucked up an early split and had a worker not mining minerals, I have a bridge to sell you on Fighting Spirit. Scimo, will you play live versus Slip? I will. I'll do that. Yesterday's cast took quite a lot out of me, so it was I kind of just went and died after I was done, but I do actually have to play that game. Oh, well, okay. So we see here, you know, Extra Time taking their third when the probe is harassing the natural. Probe getting the scout is very good. No gas yet. Four hatcheries. So this is going to be looking like a 5-hatch Hydra then. Assume the 5th hatch will be brought in at some point. Cybernetics Core, of course, on the way. Probe is seeing all of this, so Inhale has done a great job keeping their probe alive. But they do still need to look out for the Hydra Den, right? You have to get that confirmation. So if the probe dies and you don't have it, you kind of also have to prepare for Mutalisks, because a surprise Mutaswitch can end the game early. Instead, these Zerglings have given up on chasing the probe and instead are just going to sit outside the base to keep the Protoss honest, which is, you know, a good decision as well. no Corsair yet. The probe is still alive. That's actually huge. So he's able to skip Corsair because I assume he sees the Hydra Den at the main here. Going up to 5 hatches. And instead, Inhale's just getting up into their Templar Archive, so there you go. What if he just built a gateway right here? Because why not? Build a gateway, sneak a then just build DTs from inside the base, send one down to the natural first so the opponent just thinks it got snuck in somehow, and then also kill the main. Unfortunately, the probe will die instead of doing anything fun like that. We also have Zealots moving out. +1 and speed on the way. Let me... So we are going to have a pretty serious timing attack here. 3 gateways. We're using Zealots. Cannons being added on. The probe actually sneaks out to take a 3rd. That's kind of a sneaky move here. Zerg won't sketch. Won't shake this. So are you rested after the 1.5 hour Protoss versus Zerg cast? I am rested. That cast was that game was a bewilderment for me. The funny thing is that it wasn't even a 1.5 hour cast. It was a 1.5 hour game inside a like 2 hour cast because they also had a 40-minute game on top of it. So it was a lot of fun though. That definitely has my vote for like CPL game of the season. Alright, Dragoons being added on with Singularity Charge. Yeah, that's a good move. I don't even know where... Okay, it looks like the Hydras are mostly just hiding up in here, and this is smart because the Zealots won't really be able to get a lot of damage done. Their main utility right here is keeping the Zerg from being extremely aggressive and in their base. So you won't really be able to get any damage done. Extra Time has done a great job of responding to this. So you just come in, you know, basically it's essentially just like the StarCraft equivalent of just being like, okay, I don't know, checking, make sure that your opponent isn't doing something crazy. 3rd base going down for Inhale extremely quickly. That's if Protoss can match bases with Zerg, that's so useful for them. Extra gateways being added. Very nice. Okay, I think there's a space here for these gates. For the Dragoons coming out of this gate to run by. Alright, big move out of the Zerg. Giant purple stream coming in, but we do have 2 High Templar. Storm coming down. Very nice storm. Weakening the high... Ooh, that's a very good storm. Right there. We do also back off with the High Templar, but there are a lot more Hydralisks where that comes from. We're going to need probably another storm just like that, and in 5 seconds, we're going to have it available. Is that 8 kills on this High Templar? What an absolute legend. Again, keep in mind that Inhale took an extremely fast 3rd here, so they are on base parity with the Zerg, and as long as they don't die, they're really good. Eight gateways. Nope, 9. Never mind, you're right. Yeah, so we just have some Hydras sitting out here. Cautionary storm. not really, you know, just that one is just really to scare the Hydras off. It's not to get a lot of value in a big fight. But you want to be careful with those because you do need the storms for the big fights. And lots of pylons going down in the third. And a drone moving out to take the fourth. Ooh, if that Overlord dies, see, this whole fight is kind of weak to a DT right now. We do have some slow Overlords filtering in, but supply block on ET. And we have 3 High Templar looking for the storms. Let's see if they can find them. It looks like they're not, but we do have one giant storm right there. Another big storm zoning out this ramp. We have one more storm, or are we just going to make an Archon? We're just going to make an Archon, but it looks like we do not have a third storm. But that was a huge disaster for extra time. So they're going to have to retreat, take a 4th base, and take stock of what they have available. Lurker research on the way. We're closing in on 12 minutes on the game, and we do have our robotics facility and our observatory out, so Inhale is doing really well. Hitting their timings where they need to. Second forge going down for those extra upgrades. That's unfortunate. Overlord spreading out to kind of just be out and around the map, see for things, but that does also make them vulnerable. And when the Protoss army has these Dragoons mixed in, they will... Oh! Never mind. Okay, they will finally get that Overlord. But while the Protoss is moving out, the Hydras are coming in for the counterattack. This is very risky, right? The Hydras have to fight these cannons. They might bust the front, but at the same time, they are going to be flanked by the entire Protoss army. And that means that there is no escape for these Hydralisks. They have to do something here. Some couple of High Templar filtering in. They do not have the energy upgrade, so they will not be able to fight this. And the Hydras are going to have to try to retreat, but they have to retreat through a volley of Dragoon and Zealot fire. And only 4 Hydralisks are going to make it out. This Overlord might make it out with them. One more Dragoon shot and that Overlord is dead. And now here's the counterattack from Inhale. There's some Lurkers morphing in. Those can turn the fight, but we do have a High Templar, and he does have 2 storms inside of him. Inside you, there are 2 storms. One to hit Hydras, another to hit Lurker eggs. Or just Lurkers as the Lurkers spawn. And it looks like, even though these Lurkers spawn, the reaction to burrow them is not quite there. Instead, they are going to get completely slaughtered. And these Dragoons will be able to barrel through the natural base. Dragoons kill sunken colonies extremely quickly, especially when there are Zealots buffering for them. Overlords are being melted, and AT GG's in allied chat, and gives the victory to Inhale. Alright, I'm going to go set up our second game. Yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. It's on Eclipse, and it's a PVZ. What more can we say about it? Lots of things you can do on that. So, you know, it exists. In the top right corner of Eclipse, we have Inhale as the light blue Protoss. Bottom left corner, we have Extra Time. Once again, playing the purple Zerg, sending that Overlord over immediately, and looking to tie up this match. Inhale, meanwhile, looking to take a clean 2-0 and make it look easy, I guess. I think really the inflection point of that last game was the Hydralisk counterattack that was then defended, killed every single Hydra that was attacking, and then opened up the possibility to counterattack. Forge going down. That's not how you wall on Eclipse, but you know what? You do you, buddy. There's like enough room for, gosh, I really hope the gateway actually fits there. Oh my god, it is a 4-pool. Oh, not even noticing this. I am literally inobservant. 2 drones being sent to scout. 6 Zerglings on the way, rallied over, Overlord in production. No, oh, but the pylon is in the main. He sees that and builds the pylon and the cannon in the main. That shuts this down, right? The drones are going to get up here, but this pylon should hopefully finish by the time these Zerglings get across the map. Can only watch. Yeah, that pylon will absolutely be done. So, and there's a second cannon going down as well. So, they will get the forge and they will get the pylon. I actually think this should have been like a forge right here just to seal off this area so that the cannon can defend it. But gateway there is very smart. I think it really does just going to be like Inhale needs to macro out of this. They aren't disrupted too well. One base Protoss versus one base Zerg absolutely favors the Protoss, but the Protoss does have to get some sort of counterattack in. I'm not sure what exactly that looks like in this situation, but having the cannons, I guess also this cannon helps open up this whole area for building as well. Okay, Zergling's getting shaved off. Behind this, extra time has not been has not been forcing this pressure. They've just been macroing, right? So they're 5 workers behind, and that does matter a whole lot, but they are actually getting their second base up. Meanwhile, Inhale getting their Zealots, and just also trying to macro supply block on both sides, kind of. Not really. It looks like extra time has some opportunity to get an Overlord as soon as the Larva is available. Yeah, I guess the question just becomes, like, what does this game look like from here? I think, so I think, personally, in this position, oh, Inhale floating nearly 700 minerals, that is not good. I think in this position, personally, getting the gas and just trying to skip up to Corsairs extremely quickly is the correct choice. Sorry about that auto mod message, let me go ahead and fix that. Because if you can skip to Corsairs extremely fast, you can just start killing Overlords for free, right? Because the Zerg doesn't have the economy to get Hydras or keep the Overlords defended. That's just in my opinion. Again, I think one base Protoss is better than one base Zerg, generally. But just going Zealot Corsair is usually the way you want to go. Because Zerg can't really do Hydras off of one base, or they can't do them effectively. We also see just how delayed this gas is. We have the Cybernetics Core on the way, Gateways on the way, Zealots coming out. Extra cannons being built. Oh, at the natural, this is actually sick. So once again, Inhale, they stuck a probe over here, and they have cannons already halfway done. So the question is, like, is it even possible for extra time to save this base, right? They'd have to fight through these pylons and then also kill these cannons, and I just don't think that's feasible. So they're going to lose this base. They're going to have to go and expand at their third, but they're still going to be only on 2 bases. And again, 2 base Zerg is on par with 1 base Protoss, right? The reason why Protoss has to fast expand in PvZ is because Zerg is assumed to get 3 bases for free. And so in a situation where the Zerg can't get that free third base, Protoss is fine sitting on 1 base. And it looks like Inhale is actually going for an expansion here. And again, we're going to see this turn to a Sunken Colony, and extra time, going to give up on taking this natural. It's in the Zerg psychology. And we also see that Protoss Stargate building, right? So this Sunken's gonna finish. It might be able to shoot this pylon. See, not gonna work. So extra time, they're not gonna build. They're not gonna build from the space anymore. They're just gonna run around it. But the Stargate's on the way, and extra time hasn't been building the Hydras, and so this is what I'm saying. Where like when you're in this position, just go Zealot, Corsairs, and you're good. The Zerg can't really afford to be going into Hydras on just 2 bases. Oh, I like the little Zerglings pocketed around the map to catch the scouting probes. That's good. Wonder what this probe is. Yeah, I think this probe is being sent to the 3rd to try and also cannon rush the 3rd, but it does get spotted by the Zerglings, so that unfortunately will not work. I would like to see, once this like cannon finishes, the Zealots move out and put pressure on here, like maybe send 4 of them. And as long as you keep that Zealot production up, but it's as soon as this Corsair arrives is when it's GG, right? We do finally have the Hydra Den coming out, but you also have to, the Hydra Den has to build, the Hydras have to make, and then you also still have Overlords pocketed around the map that can be sniped out. Oh, the probe doesn't actually die. Nice. Good for it. Corsair on the way. Citadel of Dune on the way. Getting that Zealot speed works really well. So we are going up to 4 hatcheries here. Alright, with the Hydras out, the Corsair won't be able to get too much damage done, though, so that's fine. Again, really, the Hydra numbers are so limited that you're kind of fine with just doing speed Zealots and +1, and we see Inhale is going for that. And like, honestly, that's all you need. Like, +1 speed Zealots kind of do wreck Hydralisks. When you're in like low or even numbers, yeah, you're okay with that. We do have a couple of Zerglings coming across. Inhale in response to the Hydras is building a couple of extra safety cannons, which is smart and good. Templar Archives coming as well. Which if you mix some DTs or even just get Storm and High Templars in with the army, you're fine there. This is going to be a 3rd hatchery at the 3rd base. No, it's just going to be a miner. Supply block on our Protoss player. And again, just as a reminder, how fast do Hydralisks kill cannons? Like, I don't know the actual math, but I feel like, what are we at? We're at 8 Hydralisks? I feel like 8 Hydralisks can kill 2 photon cannons. Like, alright, 2 Sunkens going down in the 3rds. Of course, they're doing a great job just scouting, but we do have these Speed Zealots on the way, +1, so close to finishing. I mean, yeah, 8 Hydralisks, they can probably kill 2 cannons, but what they can't kill is Zealot. 12 Zealot? 12 Zealot. Running straight for the natural. Oh, the Hydralisks, they're baited out by the Corsair, and the Zealots are going to run in to get them. Charging in, just getting on top of this base here, taking the Sunken Colony out, and then they just have to get up the ramp. The Hydras are going to try to body block as much as possible, but, I mean, it just isn't going to work. Zealots at +1, amazing units, tearing through the Hydras, nothing really in the main base to defend, and that is going to be GG'd. And ET, GG's out of game 2, giving Inhale the win. Ah. All right. Let's take a look at our splash screen here. Then Hale taking the 2-0, and with that, that 2-0, securing the Tier 2 victory for the 4-pool Lifeguards versus Let Us Attack. What? Wait, hold on, Dada. Wait. God dang it. Hold on. This group has been cast? Oh, okay, hold on. I'm now seeing the message. Let's hear. I got a quick look, and here's what's already been cast. The Too Fact, Too Furious Group 3. This group? With a Tendat, Flazzardo, Balance, EA Rob, Kanzaki, Crowbar. Yes, that one. Or, I'm sorry, no, this one. Magic Bullet, Rabbit, Roost, Shiver, Dracino, Vint, Quirky. This one has been cast already? Crap. Well, hold on. I did not see it on the list. Well, that means I guess we're only casting 2 groups today. So that's all I'm prepared for. Which is fine, since I also do have to play my game, so there we go. I remember seeing this. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I'll just need to take a few moments to recover from this reveal. Thank you for letting me know before I started that cast. I mean, it would be funny to have 2 casts to see how they differ, but our last match for this group is going to be Character versus Leonix, which is going to be a ZVZ. Could make a split screen cast. That would be funny. Actually, that could be kind of funny. But I will use that save time instead to just practice for my match, and then also we'll stream our match with Cider if they're up, if they're around. Go ahead and load in this game, but I also need to be right back because I need to go refill my coffee cup. So we're going to be on a very short, like 5-minute break, and with that, when we're returned, we're going to have probably the best match in this group because it's Zerg v Zerg, which is of course the best matchup. Yeah, we'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Probably. I have a cup of coffee, I have some breakfast to eat, so we're gonna enjoy some StarCraft. Welcome to our StarCraft cast mukbang. In the top left corner of Goodnight, we have Leonix playing the light pink Zerg. And the bottom right corner, we have character playing as the yellow Zerg. I don't know why, but for some reason I always think of yellow as like a default, like like an error color. I don't know why. I think it's because, like, if you shift tab into the allied colors mode, it like defaults to yellow. I don't know why. I just think it's like the most, like, not the most generic color, but it's like that's a weird color to play as. We have an Overlord from Leonix at 9 supply, whereas character looks like they're just gonna be doing a 9 pool. Nope, it's going to be a 9 hatch from our... No, it is a 9 pool, never mind. Whoa. 9 pool from our caster. The friendly neighborhood character. So it looks like it's going to be Overlord gas pool from Leonix. That's 3 Zerglings. So generally, like, ZVZ is a game measured in, like, very minor bouts of efficiency. And one of the telling ways is, like, if a player is able to squeeze out extra drones, that is such a huge advantage in this matchup because every single drone matters so much. So Leonix being able to, like, go up to 11 drones and stabilize is actually insane. Character being on 9 drones, that's like 2 drones behind. Yes, they kind of get the Zerglings out earlier, but again, like, Leonix isn't actually, like, caring about the Zergling count. They just need to defend this ramp, and as long as this ramp is defended, like, they're fine. They can play this out because they're going for that Spire, that early Spire. Now, character, their own lair isn't so far behind, but at the same time, they are going for this more aggressive opening, and they're last scouting their opponent. So this is kind of like, this Goodnight is a massive map. This map is huge. So it is very much kind of like not a... It's not a great map to go for these very aggressive builds on. So now character, like, the question is, can character bust up this ramp? Since it looks like they're kind of even on Zergling count, probably can. It is forcing an extra creep colony out of Leonix, so that drone difference has basically evaporated, forcing. But now there's the Spire, and character is also going to need to be doing a Spire as well. Actually, I think did a Zergling die over in here? That's fine. Character trying to pull the trigger, but of course you cannot fight up a ramp with ZVZ unless you get around them. But it still is too many Zerglings for Leonix. Character almost made it work, but unfortunately just didn't quite have enough of his little boys to break through. Spire now starting for character as well. Again, it's just slightly delayed. And again, it really is just counting the drones, right? Leonix at 10, character about to go to 8. Oh, another breakup. Oh, and they do slip by, and they will get the surround, and they will make it in. But again, there is this sunken colony. As long as these Zerglings can kind of fight within there, these guys can't do a whole lot. They are going to jump on top of the hatchery. Zergling DPS is massive, but is it massive enough to actually fight this Spire? Not really. They get one drone, and all the Zerglings die, leaving as only a 1 drone lead for Leonix. Well, character is behind on hatcheries, behind on Zerglings, behind on drones, but ahead in gas. So once the Spire finishes, we might be able to see some Mutas start immediately, but that's assuming that these 6 Zerglings do not just kill all the entire drone line, which is also very likely since Mutas take quite a long time to produce. Overlord sees this coming. Question is, what is the response? Okay, creep colony going down here, but it's a little late for that. 2 creep colonies, yeah, the Zerglings are going to get on top. Free reign over the drones. They just have to try to live long enough. But unfortunately, Zerglings are far greater than drones. 2 Zerglings will come up, and character lives at 1 drone. Unfortunately, I don't think that's enough to save them from a single Muta. With that, character GG's. Go to game 2. And that really is like the difference between being able to take those extra drones. Alright, game 2 on Eclipse 1.2. We're gonna hop right into it. Let me switch our stream over so that we will be able to watch it together. Leonix, top right. Character, bottom left. Zerg, everywhere. Yeah, we're kind of getting on the shorter end of games today. Personally, listen, as soon as somebody says that there's like a 3-hour ZVZ, I will be the first person to cast that. I want to see Ultralisks. I want to see Devourers and ZVZ. And Guardians. It's great. Nine pool from Leonix. Like it's going to be a 12 hatch from character. That is no 12 pool. Okay. Zerglings in a lair, and while characters getting their spawning pool and a hatchery. We're gonna need to see some Zerglings come out from character here as well, and I think character's also going to need to try to get a sunken colony in their main. So that is a lot of Zerglings running over, and I don't know if they have the time to defend everything. Or I guess it might really just come down to if this hatchery lives or not, right? If character can defend this hatchery, he gets the freeze larva as it spawns, and that's another pair of Zerglings. to help defend, but he has to defend. Ooh, Leonix. That's a choice. Baiting the Zerglings into the main so that the drones can kind of help put on some damage. That's okay, that's fine. Character is down on Zerglings though, so they are building up a lot more pairs, and these Zerglings are going to start tearing into the hatchery, and honestly, they might be able to get it. Character has to come down and save it. It's so close to finishing, but it's already down the half-life. Character honestly doesn't have the time to spare to let these Zerglings keep putting on the damage. He's going to have to come down, and he's going to have to go now. 400 HP hatchery. 6 reinforcements coming in from Leonix, but character should be able to defend it as long as he keeps building those drones. He has 9 to 11. Don't take fights like that. Great surround by Leonix, taking an amazing fight there. He's going to be able to get this hatchery. Honestly, that might just be the game. No sunken colony in the main yet either, so these drones will have full range. He was building drones from those eggs. Let's not forget that the Spire has already started for Leonix, as all these drones are going to get taken out. And it looks like that is going to be the game. Yeah. You take a few bad link fights, and all of a sudden it snowballs into losing all your drones. And that means Leonix is going to take this ZVZ 2-0, avenging his fellow Let Us Attack players, and taking the only win for their group. So, you know, poetic.